Hello everyone, this is Loudness and I am back with another video. So today I'm going to be doing something that's a little bit different and showing you guys a mastering tip. I discovered this while I was mastering a bootleg remix I did of the Hearts Revolution song named Kiss. I had a sort of aha moment whenever I was mastering this and figured something out with limiting. So I know mastering, especially limiting, which is what we'll be talking about today, can be quite controversial. So let's keep the comment debate down to a minimum and just say that we should apply limiting to your personal taste and just leave it however much or however little dynamics you so desire, as this can be a very subjective topic. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive right in. So what we're going to be doing is opening up another software called Tractor, because the waveform displays it have will help us show you this problem a little bit better. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up Tractor. Alright, so on the left we have my remix before I applied this limiting tip. It's pretty small, as you can see right here. And then we can see this professional remix that was done by Taku, I think is how you say his name. Anyways, a really good remix of a track, Left Alone by Flume, and it sounds incredible. You should definitely check it out. And what we can see is if we look at this waveform, this one is quite big. It's basically filling up this entire meter section here. And we look at my remix, and it's nowhere near as loud. Now, the interesting thing about this is these are actually peaking at the same decibel, which I believe is around +4 or +6 on the meters inside of Reason. So these two songs are peaking at exactly the same decibel ratio, but their loudness, and as you can see here, their height, is completely different. So why is that? Well, there's two things, and I'm going to be showing you guys back in Reason how to do these. All right, so the first one is clipping the master channel. So I know that sounds really bad, but this tip was actually given to me by Porter Robinson whenever I got to meet him after his Worlds live show in Dallas. He said that in order to get the mixes that he did on Worlds and also his other mixes and also the masters, he overdrove a lot of the channels and clipped some of the levels. Now you just want to make sure that clipping is tasteful and not overly distorted. Up until then, I thought clipping in the digital domain was an absolute no, but after he told me this, it completely changed the way that I mixed. Just be careful not to overdo it. And he was also just a super awesome person. We got to talk about production for around 8 minutes. He gave me some awesome tips, and I've just got massive respect for the guy. He's an incredible musician, and he was super cool to get to meet in person. And just for fun, check out this concert video because it was amazing. So if you can go see Worlds live, go do it because it's incredible. All right, so back to Reason. So the second tip is to use more limiting than you think you would need. Now, I used to think you only need to see the meter slightly dance and no more. Each of these lights is 1 decibel of gain reduction, and I'd have the meter about right here, which is about -2. And I thought that that was the way that you should be limiting. But what I did one day was I got very frustrated with my masters not being anywhere near what I needed them to be, and I completely overdrove the limiter. I slammed it to around -10 or so right here. And what I discovered was that I actually needed to be using more gain reduction on the limiter than I actually was. So the best way to figure this out is with a limiter. I'm going to go ahead and bypass these ones we've got now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new limiter. I can find it. Oh, effects. Here we go. All right. So the best way to do this is to start off completely smashed and then just move this threshold back up. So let's go ahead and just loop the drop of this track and try this out. If you do it this way, you can discover how much you need before it becomes way too overly distorted. And also, as you can see now, whenever I have this remix playing back, there's considerably more gain reduction than I used to use. Alright, so the next tip that I have for limiting is you can actually stack 2 limiters, or even 3, on top of each other and each work less, be doing less gain reduction, and this can give you a more neutral and louder sound without having to completely squash the dynamics or having to overdrive one limiter too hard. So what we have on this one is a couple dBs of gain reduction and a relatively fast attack. If I was to show you how much this is doing, we can just see right here. So at the most, it has around 3 decibels of gain reduction. And then we also have this other limiter, which is doing a little bit less, but it has a much more neutral setting, which is kind of right in the middle of fast and slow. And we can see this is about doing 1 or 2. So in total, we have quite a bit of limiting going on, but because we sort of diversified it between these two limiters, it creates a more neutral and more relaxed sound. And of course, you want to make sure you actually have a good limiter or maximizer. The better the limiter, the better the maximizer, the better this will end up sounding. I really like the Ozone one. That's my personal favorite, but there's definitely some other rack extensions that are worth checking out. And the M-Class one is still quite good. So that's all I have for today. This might seem incredibly simple, but it's definitely worth trying out if your mixes are nowhere near where they need to be with their loudness. I understand clipping and limiting are very controversial, so do just what sounds tasteful to you and you'll be fine. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe for more. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment or shoot me a tweet or something. I'd love to help you out. Thanks everyone, and see you all next time.